Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered why your skin seems duller than it used to be? Or why those lines under your eyes have deepened even though you've been sleeping fine? What if your face was trying to whisper something important to you? Not about age or beauty, but about a hidden vitamin deficiency that could be quietly affecting your energy memory or even your heart. For those of us over 60, the body speaks in quiet ways. And the face, being one of the most visible parts of who we are, often tells the story first, a story of what we might be missing inside. Sometimes it's not just wrinkles or puffiness, it's the body raising a small flag, a silent call for attention. Today we're going to listen to that call together, because what shows up on your skin, your eyelids, your lips, or under your eyes could be a clue to something deeper going on, something fixable, something important. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 surprising signs on your face that could reveal a hidden vitamin deficiency in older adults. You'll learn how to recognize these subtle changes and what simple natural steps you can take to begin restoring balance from the inside out. And please stay with me through to the end, because I'll also share a simple morning ritual that could help nourish your body in a way that supports your skin, bones, and brain, all in under 3 minutes a day. Let's begin with a sign that many people overlook: dry, cracked lips. Not just from the weather or forgetting to drink enough water, but something deeper. A deficiency in certain B vitamins, especially B2, also known as riboflavin, can show up around the mouth. You might notice cracks at the corners of your lips that won't heal, or an unusual burning sensation. It might even feel like your lips are raw or inflamed without any clear reason. This isn't just discomfort. It's a quiet message from your body. Think about someone like Alice. She's 68 and lives alone in a small town. A retired librarian, always careful about what she eats, though her meals are often simple and repetitive. Toast with butter for breakfast, a sandwich at lunch, soup for dinner. When she started experiencing sore lips and tiny cracks that stung every time she laughed or ate something salty, she assumed it was just dry air or too much coffee. But her doctor, a thoughtful young woman who listened closely, suggested checking her B vitamin levels. Sure enough, Alice was low on B2 and B6. Within 2 weeks of adjusting her diet, adding eggs, leafy greens, and a good multivitamin, the difference in her lips and her energy was remarkable. She looked brighter, less tired, more herself. Now let's move to something even more subtle. Pale or colorless skin, especially around the mouth and eyelids. We often chalk this up to aging or poor sleep. But did you know that a deficiency in iron or vitamin B12 can cause this washed-out look? These vitamins are essential for forming healthy red blood cells, and without them, your blood can't carry oxygen effectively. Less oxygen means less life in your skin. It's like the light goes out a little. Consider James, a 74-year-old widower who loves gardening and storytelling. His granddaughter noticed one day that he looked unusually pale and that the inside of his lower eyelids were almost white instead of pink. He had also been feeling more tired than usual. After a simple blood test, his doctor found that his B12 levels were alarmingly low. The thing is, B12 becomes harder to absorb with age because our stomachs produce less of a certain acid that helps unlock it from food. For James, a small B12 supplement under the tongue made all the difference. His color returned, his hands steadied, and his jokes, well, they started rolling out again. These little signs matter, and the body doesn't make noise unless it needs to be heard. The third sign might surprise you. Puffy, swollen eyes in the morning that don't go away after coffee or movement. This could be linked to a deficiency in iodine. Iodine supports your thyroid gland, which plays a major role in regulating energy, mood, and even your metabolism. When the thyroid slows down, which is more common in older adults than most people realize, you might see swelling around the eyes or face, even if the rest of your body looks unchanged. Take Olivia, a 70-year-old piano teacher with a calm presence and silver hair always tied neatly. She started noticing that her students would ask, "Are you tired today, Ms. Olivia?" even when she felt rested. Her eyes looked puffy and a bit sad, even though she wasn't sad at all. Her thyroid numbers were borderline low. Her doctor gently added iodine-rich foods to her diet, like seaweed yogurt and cod, and recommended a low-dose supplement. Within weeks, her eyes looked clearer, and she told me she felt like a fog had lifted. Not just in how she looked, but in how she thought. Our faces are full of stories, and with age, those stories become even more honest. They stop hiding, They begin to show us exactly what we need. All we have to do is look closely with kindness. If this is resonating with you, I'd love for you to comment with your age or where you're watching from. It's such a gift to know we're on this journey together, learning and growing side by side. You are not alone in this. Let's keep walking through the mirror and listening to what your face is saying, because what it reveals next might surprise you even more. Sometimes the smallest change in your reflection can carry the loudest message. And often it's not about beauty or age. It's about balance, harmony, what the body's asking for in quiet, consistent ways. If you've ever looked at your face and felt something was just a little off, maybe a certain puffiness or a new patch of rough skin, you are likely right to pause. These small visual cues are your body's way of whispering that something might be missing, something it needs to function with strength and clarity. Let's talk about another sign that shows up right between your eyebrows, a patch of dry, flaky, or even reddish skin. Not just from cold air or forgetting to moisturize. This could be a sign of a zinc deficiency. Zinc is one of those minerals that rarely makes headlines, but it's crucial for skin repair, immune strength, and even your sense of taste and smell. When the body doesn't have enough zinc, the skin often reacts, especially in delicate areas like the face. You might notice that no matter what lotion you use, the flakiness returns, or the area stays red and irritated without any explanation. Think about Harold. He's 76 and still volunteers at the local history museum, a cheerful man with a curious mind. He began developing a stubborn red patch between his eyebrows and beside his nose. At first he thought it was a reaction to his glasses, then maybe an allergy, but nothing helped. His doctor suspected zinc deficiency after hearing Harold mention he'd also lost some appetite and noticed food didn't taste quite the same. Sure enough, his levels were low. After introducing more pumpkin seeds, lentils, and a small supplement, the patch began to fade. And so did his frustration. He told his daughter, "I finally feel like my face belongs to me again." Zinc plays a powerful role in how the body heals. And as we get older, our ability to absorb and hold on to it can fade, especially if we're dealing with other conditions or taking certain medications. But the good news is, once you know what to look for, you can begin to respond in ways that nourish from within. Small foods, simple shifts, gentle awareness. Now let's move just a few inches south. Have you noticed the deepening groove between your nose and the corner of your mouth? Some call it the smile line. But when it becomes pronounced saggy or oddly shadowed, especially if you've also noticed bleeding gums or unexplained bruising, it may be more than age. It might be a sign of vitamin C deficiency. Yes, even today, many older adults don't get enough of this essential vitamin. And it's not just about avoiding scurvy. Vitamin C supports collagen production, it keeps our blood vessels strong, and it helps the body heal inside and out. Let me tell you about Marlene. She's 81 and lives with her sister in a cozy cottage by the lake, a joyful soul who still knits scarves for every neighbor's birthday. One winter, she noticed her skin sagging more quickly, especially around the mouth. She also had a few bruises that seemed to appear out of nowhere. Her dentist mentioned that her gums looked a bit fragile. That sparked a conversation. Her doctor checked her vitamin C levels and found they were well below the recommended range. Marlene had never been much of a fruit eater. She just didn't enjoy the acidity. But once she found some alternatives like bell peppers, kiwi, and a gentle supplement, her gums improved. Her skin tone lifted. Even her hands looked less frail. This is what happens when we listen to our own bodies instead of ignoring them. The signs are not mistakes. They're reminders, guides, and the face is one of the first places where the map begins to appear. Let's pause for a moment here. If you're still watching and finding these lessons valuable, would you kindly comment the number 1 below, just so I know you're still with me? Your presence means so much. It helps this small community grow into something more than just a video. It becomes a conversation, a circle of wisdom shared between people who care. Now there's one more subtle facial clue I want to bring to your attention. And it's something most of us dismiss far too easily. Dark circles or puffiness under the eyes. Yes, they can be caused by poor sleep or allergies, but in older adults, they're sometimes a sign of low vitamin K. This vitamin plays a special role in how blood clots and how blood flows. When the vessels under the eyes weaken or leak just a little, the pooling of blood can create a dark purplish shadow. Combine that with thin skin and slower collagen renewal, and the effect becomes more visible. Take Richard, for example, A 69-year-old former saxophone player who still plays lullabies for his grandkids every Sunday. He noticed that his eyes always looked tired no matter how well he slept. His doctor ran some tests, and while his iron and B12 were fine, his vitamin K levels were lower than ideal. A simple change, more leafy greens like kale and spinach, a drizzle of olive oil to help absorption made all the difference. In a matter of weeks, he looked more awake, more alive, and he felt more confident too. This is the power of small insights, of seeing your reflection not as something to fix, but as something to understand. Each line, each shadow, each change in tone, it's part of the body's language. It's not about reversing time, it's about honoring what your body's asking for right now in this beautiful stage of life, nourishing it with care, responding with love. And remember, these signs aren't about shame or worry. They're opportunities. A chance to deepen your relationship with the one person who has walked with you every day of your life. You. Let's keep going gently together, because what we discover next could bring even more clarity and peace to the way you care for yourself every day. Sometimes the smallest act of self-care begins not with a product or a plan, but with a moment of attention, a glance in the mirror that lasts a little longer, a pause to truly observe, not in judgment, but in curiosity, because your face, especially after 60, becomes a gentle messenger. It's no longer trying to impress anyone. It's trying to tell the truth. And one of the most overlooked truths it reveals lies right in the eyes. Let's look at one of the most powerful signs yet. Eyes that appear dull, dry, or constantly irritated, not just from screen use or dusty air, but from something internal, a vitamin A deficiency. Vitamin A plays a central role in eye health. It's essential for keeping the cornea clear, producing natural tears, and maintaining low-light vision. When this vitamin runs low, the eyes start to speak. They may feel scratchy, sensitive to light, or even develop tiny white spots near the corner. Consider Ellen. She's 73, a retired nurse who loves reading and bird watching. She started noticing that her vision at dusk felt foggy, almost like her eyes couldn't adjust anymore. Drops helped for a few minutes, but the dryness always returned. Her ophthalmologist asked about her diet, and Ellen realized she hadn't eaten many orange or green vegetables in months. After adding sweet potatoes, carrots, and spinach to her meals along with a small vitamin A supplement, her symptoms slowly faded. More importantly, her world looked clearer, sharper. Her eyes weren't just open. They were alive again. Vitamin A is fat-soluble, which means it needs to be eaten with a bit of healthy fat like olive oil or avocado to be absorbed well. And as we age, our ability to convert plant-based beta-carotene into active vitamin A can weaken. That's why so many seniors, even those eating well, still fall behind. But with small, consistent choices, you can bring this vital nutrient back into your body and back into your vision. And yet there's one final sign we must talk about. It's one many people don't associate with nutrition at all, but it might be the most misunderstood of all: a swollen, smooth, or overly red tongue. Have you ever looked at your tongue in the mirror and noticed it seems larger than normal or unusually shiny? This could be your body's way of asking for more vitamin B12 or folate. These two nutrients are crucial for nerve health and red blood cell formation. When levels drop too low, the tongue can swell, lose its normal texture, and even feel sore or tingly. This was the case for Leonard, an 80-year-old jazz lover who plays cards at the senior center every Thursday. He began having trouble with certain foods. Everything felt like it burned his tongue slightly. When his nurse practitioner asked him to stick out his tongue during a routine visit, she immediately noticed how inflamed it looked. A blood test confirmed that his B12 was deficient, likely due to age-related malabsorption. She gave him a sublingual B12 supplement that dissolved under the tongue, bypassing the gut. Within weeks, the pain eased, and he swore his concentration at poker improved too. B12 deficiency is surprisingly common after 60, not because people stop eating meat or eggs, but because the stomach becomes less efficient at absorbing it from food. That's why under-the-tongue or injection forms are often better for older adults. If you've noticed any of these signs, tingling memory fog, or that burning sensation, please don't ignore them. These are not signs of simply getting older. They are your body requesting help, a quiet, graceful request for nourishment. Now let's pause for a moment and breathe this in together. Every wrinkle, every spot, every shift in tone or color, it's not failure, it's feedback. Your body's not working against you. It is trying every day to keep you alive, aware, and well. And while the media may push creams and procedures, the real magic is simpler. It's nourishment, restoration, listening to the wisdom written across your face. Let's take a moment to gently recap, not as a checklist, but as a way of honoring the journey your body has walked with you. We've talked about dry lips and how B vitamins might be missing. We've explored pale skin and tired eyes as signs of low iron or B12. We've uncovered the quiet message behind that flaky patch between your brows and the sagging skin around your smile. We've looked into the shadows under your eyes and the dullness in your gaze, each one a soft invitation, a doorway into better understanding, better care, better energy. You don't need to fix everything at once. That's the beauty of this stage in life. You can choose your rhythm, add one food, one habit, one moment of awareness. That alone begins to shift your entire health. And remember, small changes can lead to massive transformations, especially when made with love. Your face isn't betraying you. It's guiding you. So I want to ask you something from the heart. What was the one lesson today that really hit home for you? What sign will you be watching more closely now? Please share one thing you're planning to try in the comments. Whether it's adding spinach to your lunch or finally checking your B12, your words could inspire someone else to take the first step. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to the channel. It helps more seniors like you discover tools for healing energy and confidence, and it truly means the world to me. Here's to living your best life at any age, with curiosity, with kindness, and with the wisdom to know that your body is still speaking. All you have to do is listen. It's a quiet morning. You wash your face, pat it dry, and catch your reflection in the mirror. Maybe it's not the lines that stand out. Maybe it's something softer. The texture of your skin feels different. The brightness in your eyes has dimmed a little. You can't quite put your finger on it, but your body knows. And somewhere deep inside you feel it too. A shift, a whisper from within. That's how vitamin deficiencies often speak softly, patiently through the face you see every day. And the truth is, they've probably been speaking for a while now. The small dry patch that never goes away, the shadows that creep under your eyes even after 8 hours of sleep, the thinning lips, the flushed cheeks. All of it tells a story, not of aging gone wrong, but of a body asking for support. Let's take one final example. And this one doesn't show up as clearly as others, but when you notice it, you can't unsee it. A yellowish hue to the skin, especially around the eyes or cheeks. Not a tan or bruise, not jaundice in the medical sense, just a dull yellowish tint that wasn't there before. This can sometimes be a subtle sign of low levels of certain B vitamins, particularly B12 and B9, also known as folate. When your red blood cells become large and fragile due to these deficiencies, they break down faster. This breakdown releases a pigment called bilirubin into the skin, which can cause a soft yellowing effect over time. We saw this with Rosa, a retired dance teacher from Florida, known for her bright scarves and brighter smile. At 79, she was still active and social, but she'd been feeling off, a bit weaker, a little more withdrawn. Her daughter mentioned her skin tone looked tired and slightly yellow, which led Rosa to visit her doctor. A simple blood panel revealed what her face had already known: her B12 levels had been dropping for years. With careful treatment and gentle supplementation, her energy slowly returned. Her color lifted. Her eyes regained their spark. Rosa now begins every morning with a B-complex vitamin and a short walk in the sun. She calls it her tune-up for the day. It's incredible how often our bodies reveal the truth long before we decide to ask the right questions. But the moment we do, when we finally pause to listen, a kind of healing begins. And it doesn't require fancy creams or expensive routines. It simply requires care, food that nourishes, moments that replenish, choices that support the systems inside us that have worked faithfully for so long.